So we will be working with tessellations today, and I'll just run this code and I'll explain to you what this code does. So when I run this code and I open the total window, you will see that it creates kind of a grid structure, a square grid. So we are going to be working on this code first, and then once you understand how this works, you can actually try out some of the other tessellations on the worksheet that I've uploaded on ManagePack. So I'll just open a new file and I will start by importing the total. This is for the square grid pattern. I will keep the speed of the total the fastest, which is 0, so that the way you saw it, working out the entire grid in one go, that's what we will be aiming at. After that, the lines that I want to create, they are just simple straight vertical and horizontal lines, but I should not be writing code to sketch each line. Rather than that, I should create a function which does the job for you. So DEF stands for define, which means you are defining a function. I will call it line because line is what I want to create. And a line can be created between two x and y coordinates. So I'm just going to call them point 1 and point 2. So this function needs 2 points from you, between which you want to create either a horizontal line or a vertical line. Now the first thing that I want to do is just say total dot pen up, because when the program actually starts, the first point where the turtle is literally in the middle of the screen. So first what I want to do is just pen up, and then I want to go to the point where I want to start sketching. So I will say total dot go to, and I will just say star point 1, which means x and y coordinate basically. So when I give it the x and y coordinate, this star point 1 will be replaced with the actual numerical value of the x and y. So once it goes to my point 1, after that I want to do turtle dot pen down. If I do not do this pen up, then it is going to draw a line from the middle of the screen to point 1, which we don't want. That's why I use the pen up command. Now pen down, and then I want to go to the second point from the first point. So go to and then star point 2. So this function is capable enough to take in 2 points and then sketch a line between them, and it does not matter whether it's a horizontal or vertical line. You just have to give the right coordinates. Okay, so just an idea, like the screen that you saw is, I think it's 800 by 600 width, or I think it's 600 by 500 or something. But anyway, you can actually also set that width and height by yourself. I think by default it is 600 by 500 if I'm not mistaken. So what I want to do, I want to start by the first point, and I will say minus 450. So basically, if this is the screen, I want to start from something top left, and I want to create a straight horizontal line. Okay, so if x1 is here, it will be negative minus 450, and I can take an idea for x2, which is, let's say, 450. So from here, from the top left of the screen to the top right of the screen. Okay, and y coordinate, I'm going to take it as 350, because y increases when you go on top and x increases from left to right. So y is 350. Okay, so this point minus 450, 350 will be somewhere in the top left corner, and the point 450, 350 will be somewhere in the top right of the screen. Okay, and then what I have to do, I want to create, let's say, I don't know, 40 lines, like horizontal lines. So I'm gonna say for I in range, I, or you can actually call it anything, like for repetitions, or the number of times basically you want to repeat something. So for I in range 40, so let's say 40 lines I want to sketch. And here I don't want to just always write go to pen down, so I'm just gonna call this function and say please do the job for me 40 times. That's why we wrote this function here. So the function's name is line, that's what we called it when we defined it, and it takes 2 points. So it will sketch the line from x1y to x2y. Okay, so it will sketch the first line, but then from top left to top right, and then I need to move down to sketch the second line, and then I have to keep moving down to sketch the third and the fourth and 40 lines. So every time I move down, I will make the y axis to be y minus 20. Like it moves down 20 steps down below, and then it sketches the line. Okay. I will also just use this function, which is total dot main loop at the end, because this, as we saw last time, this keeps your screen alive and it doesn't kill the screen. Okay. So let me just run this code for you and see what happens. So when I run, it's now creating horizontal lines from minus 450, 350, and then on the top right, 450, 350. Then it moves 20 y, so it goes down on the height, the y axis, and it sketches the next line from minus 450, 330, and then 450, 330, because y is now going down. Okay. So exactly the same logic we will apply to create vertical lines. So for vertical lines, I'm going to start from, let's say, x as minus 440, again from the top left. Okay. This time, because it's vertical lines, of course, we will have to change the x value and not the y value. So y1, I'm taking it as 370. You can actually change these values and see what effect it creates. Y2, I'm taking as minus 370. Okay. And then I will just do another different loop, and I will say for j in range 40, again 40 vertical lines I will create. And let me just copy this line code from here. So this time the lines are going to be from x y1 to x y2, and this time as I'm moving from like that, like in the vertical fashion. So of course x is now increasing because I'm starting from top left of the screen and going towards the right, so x is increasing. So x is gonna be x plus 20. Okay, so I think that's enough. So this one was for the vertical lines, and this part of the code is for the horizontal lines. So if I run this code, you will see that it first creates horizontal lines and then the vertical lines. So this is how you can actually use functions in Python, and then the loops, which is basically repetitions, and inside the loops you can always call the function. So you can see how effective this code is, because you don't have to write like 400 lines of code to draw simple shapes. You can actually just finish it in 20 lines and using the functions. So this is one video, but of course the rest of the tessellations are a little bit more complicated, and I want you to try those out.